Here it is, The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 6, Episode 14. Review, recap, and opinion by Meat Magazine, and the episode is titled Peaches Divided. So, the last review ended when Apollo was doing what a convict like himself is used to, and that's getting in another man's ass. He had Brandon held down while he was having his way with him, but the crowd broke it up before Apollo could get Brandon's pants down. Luckily, he's not a sagger. And Nene let them know that this is about talking and asking questions and having a good time, not about fighting with fisties. Yeah, not fist, but fisties. And I know that Nene is from New York, but she moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and well, this is what living down south does to your brain and cognitive abilities. There really is retardation juice in the municipal water supply in the south. Just saying. I mean, fisties? Fisties sounds like a lesbian club, so I have no idea where the man in the wig got that one from. So my boo thing, Porsha. Porsha. See how my voice cracked? What the hell? Porsha has a brain like a 1980s Apple computer. You know, the ones that you had in school back in the day? Yeah, a slow ass computer in the 100% digital world that we live in. It took her a while to digest what was going on. However, when she figured it out, she got up and took her cute sister with her. Porsha, being the adult in the room, didn't want any parts of this foolishness. She felt that they could have communicated with each other much better. And when the mess was going on, Lord Jeebus, she saw the devil in these people's faces. And before she had to pull an exorcist and start sprinkling holy water on everybody by pissing on them to put out the fire in their hearts, she ran with her sister up out of there. That's right, Porsha. Take the higher route. My hodar goes haywire whenever I see you. And with you being a Christian, you gotta kiss white Jesus's ass to get brownie points somehow. So who knows? He just might let you into heaven for being a good girl. Nah, I'm kidding. He won't. Just look at the people that you call friends. They're all a bunch of devils except Kandi. And I'm not just saying that because she's cute either. You should really pick better company, Porsha. Anyway, Kenya and Brandon left as well. And back in the room, Christopher Williams is talking with Nene, and he brought up a great point. That from his point of view, Kenya is a bit of an out-of-pocket, oddball whore for doing some bum bitch shit, like running around claiming that she knows people's spouses of 20 years better than they do. And he feels that Kenya just came there looking for trouble to get some camera time. And before that greasy, fried chicken looking has-been can finish his thought, Kandi, or Little Red Riding Hood Rat, as I call her, stops Chris from speaking to confront Natalie, Christopher's wife, about some things that she allegedly said about Kandi's fiance and future ex-husband Todd, the opportunist. And Kandi wants to know whether or not she actually said that Todd is an opportunist or what. Did you really say that? So Natalie tells Kandi that no, of course she didn't say that. And you see, what had happened was she told Peter and Cynthia that Todd dated her friend Ani. He cheated on her and broke her heart, and that Todd was a hustler who knew how to swerve, which is a slang term for maneuver or adapt. And finally, she said that Todd was always looking for a better situation. But she never actually used the word opportunist. She merely gave the dictionary definition of one. However, she didn't technically say the word opportunist. This is female logic at its finest. This gameplay mess is exactly why so many women don't have female friends. Well, I didn't technically say I said the definition, but not the... Oh, come on. Next thing you know, Cynthia has to jump all up in it with her 2 cents. Now, she could have saved those 2 pennies to put towards a new weave. I mean, the bitch is over here looking like a wet scarecrow on TV, and she's still running her mouth. She should have put them lips on Peter's big swollen balls. She still hasn't fucked Peter LePew. Peter hasn't nutted in so many years that when he drives, his balls rub against the steering wheel. That's why he bought that new car. I mean, I saw a picture of this fool jogging on somebody's blog, and in the photo, he had his balls in a shopping cart. Cynthia knows that she is dead wrong for not putting it on Peter. Dude's named Peter, stay losing. So when Cynthia's talking with Kandi, her hands are moving faster than Apollo, the pickpocket, digging in an open purse. And Kandi let her know that she didn't have to be all extra while talking to her. And Peter walks up to them at about this time, and Cynthia says to Todd that pretty much to sum up the conversation about him, she wanted to be nosy and be a messy whore. And Kandi can take it however she wants. At this point, Peter is confused and begins asking what in the smurf is going on. And the others pretty much told Peter to forget about it and that the conversation was over. Peter let them know that they were acting strange and that he will show them strange. He informs the crowd that he has all of the testosterone of humanity housed in one ball because his wife won't let him bust a nut. But the rest of them are not concerned. They ain't got time for that. So Kandi plays the female card and begins acting as if Peter is acting in a threatening manner towards her. I swear. These big mouth bitches, and Kandi literally has a big Paula Jai Parker sized mouth, but these big mouth bitches on this show love to play victim. Bunch of predators, I tell ya, but they sure as hell at any moment will claim to be picked on by somebody. Can you say full of it? Anyway, out of nowhere, the group were talking and a little bit of shoving went on between them, and Cynthia's big booty sister Mallory pushed Todd like she was part man. I mean, she used the power of all that ass and pushed little Todd, or toddler as I call him, all the way across the room. That's child abuse. And I am left thinking that maybe, just maybe, Miss Mallory, who supposedly sleeps with her husband 3 times a day, snuck off with Peter, Mr. I haven't busted a nut in years, and well, I think that Nurse Mallory may have healed Peter. I mean, anytime a woman will fight with a man for a man that she doesn't even allegedly like, yeah, Cynthia, I hope you know what's going on. And for the record, please don't divorce Peter the skunk. Just tell them that, yeah, you know what's going on and to not use your bed for their fun. I'm just saying. Anyway, after Mallory's strangely strong-armed toddler, she pushed Kandi away like she was on a diet. And Kandi went the fuck off. She started screaming stuff like, I'll kill you. I know Kung Fu and Kung Fu Panda and Panda Express. I'll swim down to the bottom of the sea while you're snorkeling and shit down your breathing tube. You fucking whore. Okay, maybe she didn't say all of that, but she went off. So Phaedra, the fat chick in the show, talks with Kandi in the bathroom about what just happened, and Kandi is crying like, you know, like when you were a kid and your parent gave you that ass whooping that you'll never forget. Yeah, Kandi was crying like that. She was like, I'll rip that bitch's soul out and fog a window with it. I don't even know what that shit means, but it sounds like a fatality in Mortal Kombat. Okay, she didn't really say all of that, but that's what I heard. Fuck you. In our next scene, we visit a much calmer Kandi at her house, and she's there with her big booty best friend and assistant, Carmen. And Carmen is, well, how do I put this? Carmen can just call my dick Curiosity because I'd kill the cat. For real. I'd beat that shit to oblivion and hand her a neck brace as a parting gift. I want to smash Carbon to Carbon. Just saying. So when Kandi and sexy Carmen are talking in the kitchen, Toddler crawls in the room with mud on his shoes and starts coloring with crayons. And Kandi tells Carmen the story about what happened from her perspective. And Carmen's facial expressions pretty much said, wow. Now if this isn't some foolishness, Kandi girl, I mean you are too rich for this. Freeloader. So now we visit Cynthia's house, and Nene and Greg are visiting, and the group are discussing the situation. Blah, 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 yada, yada. Then at Kenya's house, her gay pet Brandon shows up wearing sunglasses because he has a black eye, like a Dalmatian. In addition to his big black eye, he also has a bruised red rib and a red jaw. And Kenya feels responsible because he's walking around black and red looking like a gay ladybug. Anyway, she shouldn't feel responsible that her sissy friend went ballistic and overacted like a big gay tough guy, because guess what, punk? The big gay tough guy in the room was Apollo, and Sister Apollo was on her period. Brandon, you picked the fight with the wrong bitch, and you got your wig snatched. Now run away bald-headed and screaming in shame. And the funniest part of this scene is a hidden gem. I can't be the only one that noticed that the breakfast that Kenya made Brandon was some eggs. We all know where her eggs went now. On Brandon's plate. Anyway, the editors jump back and forth through the different houses to get different people's takes on the event that took place. And when Cynthia explains her side of the story, Cynthia and Nene do a horrible impression of Kandi that night. Cynthia and Nene are jumping around and waving their arms, looking like the wackest white rappers ever. They look like Eminem and Macklemore conducting an orchestra. But hey, this is the most exercise that Nene the Moose had since her stripper days, so I'll give her credit for effort. So back at Kenya's soon-to-be foreclosed house, Brandon brought a fake police report to be an overly dramatic twink. Come to find out, Apollo allegedly cracked his gay rib, and Brandon says that he will not press charges because he doesn't want Apollo back in jail and away from his children. Little did he know that Apollo will be rubbing the log and singing "It's Showtime" from robbing folks just a few months later. I bet that bastard robbed Target for their credit log information too. Nah, but seriously, I bet Brandon and Kenya danced and shouted about karma when they got the news that Apollo was going back to jail. Free card back to jail. Get in your cell, buddy. Same cell as last time. Isn't that something? Cheddar cheese. Now back at Phaedra's house, she sits down to talk with Apollo, and he is trying to play victim. He alleges that Brandon hit him, so he just went off. And Phaedra is just concerned with public relations and the perception from other people. She doesn't even care. She really doesn't care what that white thug that she married thinks. I mean, think about it. She didn't marry a black guy to avoid this bullshit and ended up with a meathead loser. We need to go back to the old times where the family picked the husband for the woman, because black women stay losing. She went white and still couldn't get it right. In our next scene, Kandi meets up with Yummy Carmen at A Mother's Love musical opening casting call. And there you go. Kandi's play does have a name. A Mother's Love. And the staff only has 7 weeks to opening night. With the casting call in Atlanta, I expect a bunch of Christians and homos to audition. Hell, even Kandi's judge panel has 3 sperm burpers up there, alongside Kandi and Toddler. And out of over 400 people that auditioned, Kandi only liked 2 people enough to even consider them for the play. And yeah, it was a bunch of homos and Jesus jerkers. No wonder they couldn't find any talent. They should have done this in Los Angeles, aka Wetback World, or Jew York City, Hook Nose Heaven. In another scene, we visit Porsha Almighty as she trains her vocal cords at Marvelous Enterprise Artist Development Center. She's running in place and singing and looking so cute, and the ass is looking extra fat. Praise Porsha, I mean Lord Jeebus. I don't know about her singing abilities. I mean, she seems to sing better than average, but needs some professional help, and then she'll be pretty good. But at least she looks perfect. Now we take a trip to the spa named Jeju Sauna and Wellbeing, so that the lady Porsha and the tramps, the other women, can get massages and patch things up from that mega fight at the hotel. And yes, those slant eyes got down on their yellow knees and rubbed Biggerfoot's hooves. Yes, I don't call Nene the Moose Bigfoot, I call her Biggerfoot. I mean, them fish-faced yellow jackets rubbed the corn and green peas out of her nasty tangled toes. I bet her feet and butt smell like moose soup. Nasty, fat, bald-headed black bitch. I bet she didn't even tip the little squids a penny. I bet she patted them on the head and said, "You know what they say about Chinese bitches? Besides their pussies being sideways, they say that the Chinese girls are sugar, spice, and everything rice." Then just jumped up and bowed and ran out of the room screaming, "I'm stealing this robe." Fucking hood rat. Anyway, so now Porsha and her bitch without a leash or sitting around lapping tea out of doggy bowls and talking and discussing what happened the other day or week or whenever it happened, and Cynthia is still blaming Kandi, and Kandi is explaining to this slore that she was out of pocket for making sign language hand signals all up in her face like she's deaf. Damn right, Kandi. Fuck Cynthia, because it was Cynthia's over-the-top ridiculousness and Mallory's secret love affair and secret feelings for Peter that started the second fight. Cynthia claims that Mallory, the nymphomaniac, pushed Kandi and Toddler to break things up, and Kandi makes a great point that Mallory should have, if anything, held back Peter LePew and Cynthia if she was going to call herself restraining anyone. So next thing you know, during the conversation, Nene and Kenya start arguing their points about what happened, and these whores start yelling like Foxy Brown that time that she went deaf. And I just want these hookers to stop. Porsha brought up another great point, that no one really knows every detail of what happened that night at the couples event, and then they should just drink their tea and change the subject because too many people aren't owning up to their part of the fiasco, so screw it. And in a nutshell, nothing gets solved. Porsha, the only adult in the room besides Kandi, who I adore, get no closure from dealing with these crazy bitches. So pretty much in a nutshell, that's what happened. Don't forget to comment below and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more news, reviews, recaps, and opinions. And if you likey, share this video on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, Google+, or 2 cans with a string in the middle. In other words, tell a fucking friend.